In this video, we're going to go over two word problems to illustrate how to solve systems of linear equations from word problems. Okay, so this is a standard word problem. We have 2 sheep and 5 goats, and together they weigh 250 pounds. And then we have 3 sheep and 2 goats. We're assuming these are identical sheep and identical goats, which is quite an assumption, and they weigh 320 pounds. So how much does 1 sheep and how much does 1 goat weigh? So how would we do this? So first we would translate this into algebra. So this would be 2s plus 5g is 250. 3s plus 2g is 320. By the way, if you're going to use other variables such as x and y, make sure you know which one is x and which one is y, because at the end you might say x is 20 and then you won't know what you've just found, the goats or the sheep. Okay, so how would we solve this? Let's use combination of equations. So we'll make both of these a 6. So let's triple this equation and double that equation. So we'll have 6s, 15g, 750. Alright, so at this point we can subtract them. When we subtract them, these will be gone. We'll have 11g is 110. So that means g must be 10. 10 what? 10 pounds. And what is w? Well, we can just plug this back in, let's say over here. So 3s plus 20 is 320. So 3s is 300 and s is 100. So that means a goat weighs 10 pounds and a sheep weighs 100 pounds. All right, looks pretty good. So that's a standard pounds. So that's a standard word problem you might encounter, except instead of sheep and goats, you might have other objects in the problem, other animals, things. Okay, so here's a second problem, a little trickier to set up, but same idea. So let's say we have a movie theater and we have children's tickets and we have adult tickets. Let's say the children's tickets are $7 each and each adult ticket is $11. And we know we've sold, let's say, 25 tickets and we've made a certain amount of money, which will, let's say, $243. That's our profit, or rather revenue. The difference between revenue and profit is revenue is the profit minus the expenses. Sorry, the profit is the revenue minus the expenses. So let's just say that's our revenue. Okay, so how, and the question here is how many children's and how many adult tickets have we sold? Okay, so this seems like there's a lot of stuff going on, so how do we translate this? First, we may want to introduce variables. So if we have to be very clear, if you're going to use C and A or X and Y, what does C mean? So C is going to represent the number of children's tickets. Because if you just say C is child, you may be confused. Is C the price of a children's ticket or C the number? So this is a quantity and that's the price. So with that in mind, we'll just know that C and A represent the numbers, the quantities. So the way these problems usually work is that there'll be a quantity equation and a price equation. So the quantity equation is going to relate to that 25. So that means our C plus A is 25. The price equation is going to be the second number. So that means, let's say we've sold C children's tickets and each one was $7. That means we've made 7 times C dollars or money from the children's tickets and 11A from the adult tickets. $11 per ticket times A tickets. So that's your total revenue, which is $243. So at this point, this is our algebra problem. We could drop this $sign and it's purely an algebra problem. All right, so we could scale this up by 7 to get 7C plus 7A is 175. And then the reason we did that is so we can subtract these. So these are gone. So therefore 4A, 11A minus 7A, is equal to 25 plus 43, so that would be 68. So A must be 17. We can plug that in. We don't want to plug it in here, it's too annoying, so this will be easier. We'll plug it in here, so C must be 8. All right, so therefore we sold 17 adult tickets and 8 children's tickets. Oftentimes, I remember when I was younger, I would have trouble setting these up because it's sort of unclear. There's all this information. How do we incorporate this? So what helped me keep this straight is to remember that this is the quantity equation and this is the price equation, which means if you just have 7 and 11, those are price per ticket, but you need to know the number of tickets to get the full revenue. So that's the amount of money you made from all the children's tickets, from all the adult tickets, and that's the total revenue. So when you're setting this up, don't just try to set it up quickly. Make sure you understand what these constraints mean. This is the quantity. There were 25 tickets sold, and that's the revenue. All right. In the next video, we'll go over another way to solve this problem.